Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So in the previous video we have seen how to develop a simple one-page portfolio website using NextJS and TailwindCSS. Right, so we also checked how to install Node.js and also how to what is NextJS and TailwindCSS. Right, so this video I've created one more portfolio website. This is also a single page website, but it has more features and CSS styling. Okay, so you can see it says hello, I'm Sudeep, and I've added few details about me, and you can see three side panel here, like menu options, and if I click on them, so it will take me to that particular section. So if I click on blog, it will take me to the blog section, and if I click on tutorials, it will take me to the tutorial section. Okay, so if I click on projects, it will again take me back. Right, so also you can see these looks like cards, and when I hover on them, um, it they get bigger. Right, similarly with these cards as well. Okay, also this one, you can see the play button is getting bigger. Right, so if I click on any of the content, you can see it opens a new video on the new tab. Right, so we're going to develop this website now. Alright, so let me open my VS Code. So I will give you the link for my previous video in the description. So in this video I'm not going to explain what is Tailwind CSS, Next.js, anything. Okay, so we'll directly develop the project. Okay, first of all let me change the folder. Okay, so let's go to Tailwind CSS and let's again follow the installation instructions. Okay, so I'll go to installation and we're going to use Next.js and copy this one. Okay, right, so we are in a portfolio website folder I have created on my computer. So let's create the project with the project name portfolio website 2. Okay, so this will create the website, the project for us. You can see the portfolio website 1 which we have developed in the previous video. So this one will create a portfolio website 2 folder. So once it has installed all the dependencies, packages, and once it has created the project, just need to cd and move to the folder and run the server. Okay, let's give it a time. Okay, so once we install the project, we can ignore all of these things. Okay, so because we are installing Next.js directly from Tailwind CSS, we don't need to follow any of these things because it is giving by default everything. Okay, so only thing is we'll have so the only thing is we'll see the Tailwind CSS slash tailwind.css. This one will be added to the project by default. So if you want to add any custom CSS like custom fonts or any custom styles, colors, anything, you'll have to add your own global CSS file, and we'll have to add these details. So we're going to see that how to do it. Okay, let the installation done. Okay, now it's done. Instead of cd portfolio website 2, I want to open this folder by default. So I'll open the folder. I'll go to the folder portfolio website 2 and select the folder. I always do that because whenever we want to push the git files to GitHub, again we don't need to cd the project and upload the files. It's not a big task, but I have sometimes I forget to cd when I open a terminal, so accidentally I upload wrong files. So I don't want that to happen, so always I open the folder and open the project instead of cding it. Alright, so this is the project. Let's run the server, npm run dev. Okay, so it will open the server on localhost 3000, where we can see the project and test all the changes we made about the project. Also this website is responsive website. It's not like the previous one. So previous one was very straightforward, so this one is responsive website. So if I minimize the size of the screen, you can see the website is getting adjusted based on the size we have, right? So you can see this is a tablet view. So if I again make it smaller, you can see it is moving all the project related stuff to the bottom of the screen, and it's the mobile view, right? So you see that. So it's a responsive website, and if I again increase the size of the window, again it's coming back to normal, right? Okay, let's see. Yeah, now the server has started. So if I open the localhost, I can see the web page. Okay, right. So now we'll go to pages, and if I go to NextJS, index.js, so the whole program is here. Let's remove everything instead of till head. Let's remove everything. Okay, we're going to build everything from scratch. So I'll add a container. Okay, okay, so once I save it, everything will vanish, and you can see the text which I have added here, right? So if I go to underscore app.js, you can see TailwindCSS is added. So what I want to do is, I want to have the background of this color, and in TailwindCSS we do not have this color. Okay, so if I go to colors, okay, so gray, we have all these options, but the exact color we do not have. Okay, so for that we'll have to add our own custom color in the tailwind.config.js. so this is the file. Okay, so first let's see what color it is. Okay, so the color is this one. So this is the color code of it. So under themes extend, we'll have to add colors, and I want to name the color as custom. Okay, save it. So now what I will do, I will create one folder called styles. So here we'll have our custom CSS file, which is globals.css. Okay, so if I go back, right, we'll have to add these three here. Okay, and also we'll have to, so I want to make this page by default, the background color of the page will by default will be the color which we have chosen. Okay, so first we'll have to do layer, base, body, let apply. Okay, now so the background I want to choose is custom. Okay, so if I refresh it, layer, base, okay, I'm sorry. So this one, if I go to pages under in app underscore app.js, we'll have to replace this one with the styles folder. So if I add double dot slash, we'll get a drop down. I'll choose styles slash globals.css. Okay, now the background is changed, and also we want the text to be white by default. Okay, and also the text white is not too good because the background is dark. We don't want the text to be too white. We can make it little less white so that it blends with the background. So for that I can reduce the opacity of the text. So let's put it at 50. Okay, you see that, right? Okay, also I want to add my custom font. If I go to Google font, actually I don't remember the font which I used. One second, I can pick up the font from here. So if I do F12 and click on this one, so if I go to computing, I can see the family font Gothic AI. Okay, let's try that. Okay, right, this is the one. Okay, I'll just select all the styles. Okay, now I'll click on import, copy this one. So exclude the style what is a container and just copy the import one. Go back, okay, I'm sorry, go back to tailwind.config.js. now let's add the font family. Okay, so I will call the font as custom, and this will be, oh, one second, the font family will be Gothic A1, sorry, and I'll copy this import and go to global CSS. I'll add it here. Okay, done. So if I go back to the website, I don't see the font applied. So because we need to add it to global as well. So font will be by default it font custom. Okay, now the font is changed. Okay, cool. So now the initial setup is done. Now let's start coding. I'll close all the other files, only let's keep only index. Okay, so this is the website I have built. So you can see two sections here, one is the left hand side and the other one is right hand side. So the left hand side section doesn't move, okay, only the right hand side section will move, right? So now let's build two sections here. So here we'll create left section, and here we'll create right section. Okay, so let's remove this one. So under the left section, let's create one container. So I'll just copy paste whatever we have here. I'm adding this one here. Okay, just to save time, just copy pasting it. Alright, this one is selecting everything. Okay, so if I save it, okay, this is how I'm getting it. So let's start formatting it. So I want this to be half of width to the entire screen. Okay, so you can see now it is half of the screen, and I want the margin to be at around 20. Okay, and I don't want this to be at center, so I want this to be on top. Alright, so let's start adding containers to each of them. So this one will be here. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm trying to format everything in the code itself, because later on it will be easy for me to track where the code is. If they are not properly aligned, there's nothing harm in that, but it will be difficult for us to track later, because this is a simple website. You will be able to track it now, but if you are building multi-page website, it might be in future difficult to track it. Okay, so now we can see these two are in two different lines. And also let me add the projects as well. 01 project, 02 blog, and 03 is what did I call, tutorials. Okay, okay, so let's create flex so that we can organize the content better, and I would like to make it justify between so that it will be distributed equally. And the max height would be the screen height. Oh, I'm sorry, minimum height has become bigger. Alright, let's remove this one. What I will do is I will add a gap of 10. Okay, this is fine. So if you look at this website, hello, I'm Sudeep is very in bigger font, and it's also white, right? So for that let's add a class here, class name equal to, I want the text to be large, so let's make it 4x. Maybe 7x. Okay, let's make it bold. Right now we want to make it white, so not background, sorry, text white, and text opacity, let's make it 90. Okay, right. So in order to keep this little closer, let's add some padding to right. I want to have it as 44, so you see that now it's much smaller. And also let's make the text size smaller, so let's make it by default smaller. So text, I made it smaller now. Okay, so if I go back to index.js, let's format the project blog and tutorials. You can see all of them are beside each other. We want them in column. So what I can do, so I will make it as div and add containers for themselves. Okay, let's simply copy paste. Alright, done. So now you can see they are in columns, but we want to add some space, so let's make it as flex and flex column. Let's add a gap of 5. Okay, maybe 7. And also at the top let's add a gap of 20. Okay, this is fine, this looks better, right? So if I look at the project here, there is a hyperlink to contact, so let's make the hyperlink. Okay, this looks much better, so I made the text to smaller. Okay, and also I want this section to be fixed, so I can see a scroll over here and it is moving as well. So let's make this one as hyperlink and white, and also we can stop it to scroll. Okay, so the first one would be here, let's add a hyperlink, so we'll put it in container of A. So if href equal to mail to colon, and we'll add the same thing here. Okay, now you can see the pointer cursor, so if I click on that one, it opens the mailbox, right? Now let's format it. So let's underline it. Okay, so if I add excuse me, if I add u a container, it should underline. One second, I think it should be outside, right? Okay, now you can see the underline, right? Now let's format it. Let's make it white, just like we did for the text, the main text, I mean my name. Right now we can see it is white as well as underscore. Also you can see it is underlined. Okay, now let's stop scrolling it. So for the whole section, let's make it fixed. Okay, now it doesn't scroll, but you can see it moved to right hand side. So let's make the width to full. I'm sorry. Okay, so if I open the console, we can see what kind of format it is in. Okay, okay, so let's add margin to the right hand side. So the margin to right hand side would be MR. So let's add 80 for now. Let's see how it looks like. So if I add a element on right hand side, let's see what happens. Okay, and this should be flex row. Okay, so the class will be width of full. And minimum height would be full. Okay, now we got the content to the left hand side. So what happened is, when we made it fixed, okay, so the left hand side the content is fixed before, because the width was not defined. So the main class width was not defined, so it took as a minimum width and it threw it to the right hand side. Now I created I made the total container width to full, so the full screen. Okay, because it's full screen, so the nearest so the margin is left hand side, because we write from left to right, so by default it will be on left. So once I made it the width as full, the whole content has switched to left hand side. Now what we have to do, we have to keep the right section at this part. Okay, let's work on that. Okay, so the width, let's put it to full, and height, let's put it to screen's height. Okay, so the right section is moving. What are we missing? So flex row. So if I remove these two, let's see. Okay, let's check the console and let's check the position of this one. Okay, if I go to the main div, so this one is declared as half of the screen. That's good. Okay, whereas the right section, it is given on the top. Okay, so let's put it this way. Okay, right. So we'll have to add a margin of left to 80. Okay, let's add the margin of left to 96 and also padding of left to 20 or maybe 28. Okay, and okay, now everything is coming back to, now everything is looking good. So we just need to make few fixes. We'll work on that, not a problem. Okay, so anytime when you don't think the alignment is not working properly and you don't know where to check that, just click on F12 and check the console and you will understand where to fix the things. So earlier what happened is, the main class, so both left and right hand side are wrapped under one section. Okay, so earlier we have added the margin of 20 to the left hand side, but for the right hand side we did not do it. So what I did is I removed the margin for just left hand side and added to the main class. So that made the right section come down to equivalent of the left section. Now the left section is fixed, right? So we have to add the margin to the left hand side of the right section. So I added ml of 96 and also padding of 28. Okay, so we can further add the padding to right section. So if I make it PL32, it's further moving away. Alright, so let's also add a margin of 10 to the left section. Okay, so let's see. Okay, that's fine. Okay, now the alignment looks good. Let's see what levels of padding we have. So if I go to the Tailwind CSS and search for padding, I'm sorry. So padding we have 32, 36, 40. Let's try 40. Let's reduce the size of this text furthermore. So let's increase the padding to the left hand side. So 44, 48 and 44, 52 are the nearest ones. Okay, I think 42 is fine, sorry 48 is fine. So we have added a padding to right hand side to the left section of 48. So this is the look we have achieved, and you can see only the right section is scrolling but not the left section, right? And let's add the padding to the right section furthermore. If I make it to 80, it's going too much away. Let's see, let's add 60. If I add 60, I think this is fine, right? Okay, okay, this is good. So left hand side is done. Let's work on the right hand side. So let's start creating cards. Okay, so I'll add new container div. So I'll just copy paste the details from here. Okay, so the first one is the project type, project name, and some text about the project. Okay, let's paste that here. Okay, so now we got the text here. What we can do, so let's create the card, add a class name. Okay, so we want the card to be looking this way. So this is little lighter than the background, right? So we do not have any color in the Tailwind CSS which matches the background color. So we have created a custom color. So we do not have shades in this color. So what we can do, so if I go to Tailwind CSS, check for brightness. So okay, so let's add the brightness to 110. Okay, so this is the card and we have added the brightness to 110. Okay, so that nothing has happened. So let's add the background color as well. Okay, so the background color is applied but it's too light. Okay, let's add the brightness to 150. Okay, now you can see a small line. It's not much visible. Once we make it bigger it will be visible. Okay, let's set the size of the width to half screen. Okay, so let's also increase the size, I mean height of that. Let's have the padding and margin also for each container. I'm sorry, padding. Okay, now you can see a card visible, right? Okay, I think we can increase the size of the width. Let's make it to 3/4. Okay, this is much bigger. Let's create the containers for each one. Okay, we got this one. Alright, so let's start working on this format. So if I look at this one, the top two sections are white and portfolio website is bolder, as well as the size of the text is higher, and also the below one is the text is much thinner, right, the font. So let's make that. So let's make it flex column, add a gap of 2. Okay, add class for NextJS. Okay, let's do one thing. I'll create a container for the top two sections. Okay, for NextJS and portfolio website title, let's create a section and give a class name. So in this we can add the text white, text opacity to 90. Okay, looks good. And also for portfolio website, let's create the text, increase the text size to XL, right, and also let's call the font to semi bold, right, and also for let's format the content for simple, the project detail. This, so let's call the font to light. Okay, you see that? Alright, so if I check this one, this looks much lighter. Actually the color is much lighter, and also the portfolio website looks same. NextJS actually has the text has actually bit space between each letter, but here it's very closer to each other. We can actually increase the space between each text. If I search for wider, yeah, this one, tracking wider. So I'll copy this one. So if you look at different classes, title will look like this one. So that same text, you can see the length of the text being increased. So let's use tracking widest. Okay, I added a class and added tracking widest. Let's see how it looks. See, it has become wider. It looks almost the same with the actual website, but the text size is much smaller. Okay, let's increase the text size. Okay, text. Okay, this has become small, right? Okay, and simple one page static website, this one is much lighter. So text is white and text opacity, let's keep it to 30. Okay, done, right? And also I would like to add little space between each of them, not just gap but like line spacing. Okay, so if I go to TailwindCSS and search for line spacing, okay, I get a lot of options. I want to choose leading normal. Let's see what happens. Relaxed. let's tile relaxed. Oh, okay, so these are in different containers, so it doesn't work. Sorry about that. Let's do one thing. Let's add this one to the left hand section. So we have multiple lines here. Let's add it here. Okay, let's add more space. Let's as leading loose, this one. Let's see what happens. Okay, we have added much more space for this one. Okay, so if you look at this one, it has much space. Now it has the much space as well. All right, I think it is better I add more padding for this one. Okay, so it doesn't overlap to the right hand section. Alright, also I don't want this to be completely at the bottom of the screen. If you see this, we have some space at the bottom. Okay, let's add margin bottom MB of 10. Maybe padding will help. Okay, maybe because of the gap it's not working, but that's fine. Let's reduce the gap. If I can make it gap of 14. Let's see what options we have for gap. (14, 16), yeah, let's use 16. Okay, this is fine. Let's not touch the left hand section anymore. We'll do the changes at the last for hyperlinking these three items. Okay, project, blog, tutorials. Let's complete the right hand section. So I'll minimize this one so that I don't get confused and I don't use it. Alright, so if I remove the width, it is extending to the end of the screen. So let's add a margin of 10. (20). Okay, this is good, right? So if I check this one, it is increasing in the size or it is scaling up, right? So let's make this effect. Okay, and also add gap of 4, 5. Okay. Oh, oops. Right, so this is done. Let's work on the scaling part. So if I hover, the scale should increase to 125. Okay, this is much bigger. I don't want that. Okay, this is good, but it's like it's not smooth actually, so I want to make it smooth. So we have an option to create a duration. So if I go to Tailwind and click on transition duration, we have different options. Let's add duration of 300 for now and see how it looks like. So it should happen only if I hover. Okay, hover, duration 300. See, now it's good, looking good, right? Okay, now we have created one card. Let's simply copy paste other cards. So I have created 3 cards now. I have to see 3 cards, right? you can change the text according to your requirement. So now it looks very attached to each other. Let's add a gap of 2. Okay, we need to add flex as well. Okay, looking good now, right? So now the project section is done. So for the main container I've added flex column and gap of 2. Right, so this is projects section. Okay, this is 01 projects. Okay, I'll create one more div. Okay, so let's move this one to the right section div just now I have created. I'll minimize this one. So now the second one is 02 blog. Because we have created a top class, now we have to add the margin again. It's not adding the margin. Okay, let's create a flex class first and see if that works. Okay, that did not work. It should work now. Okay, it has extended to right hand side. Okay, I get it. So width, we have to limit the width. Okay, now it is fixed, right? So the full width we have given to one of the projects, right, to the project sections, but it should happen at the whole level container. Okay, now we have created a whole level, the top level container. It contains your projects, blog and tutorials as well, right? It's good that it's a working session and we are able to see all the possible issues we might arise and we are fixing them while we working on it. So generally in most of the tutorials those will be very much perfect and we don't see any issues mostly, right? So when I was learning based on other tutorials, that used to be very perfect, and when I was trying for myself I used to get lot of issues where I did not get any solutions or answers. I had to go through a lot of manuals to understand. Okay, it's good that we are finding issues and fixing them in this session. Okay, let's check whether it is recording. Yeah, so yesterday when I was recording a video, it paused in the middle, so again I had to re-record it. So I was just checking to make sure I'm on safe side. So if I go back to the website, so the project section is done. Now let's work on the blog section. Give me a moment. For some reason my screen was stuck. Okay, fine, recording did not stop. Alright, fine. So let's create the next section. So this section is blog section. Let's create a blog section now. Okay, let's add a container. Again we'll have to create similar cards. So what I will do is I'll just copy paste one of the cards from previous one. Okay, so it saves a lot of time. We can modify the existing card. Okay, the card is added at the bottom. Now what we have to do, now we have to reduce the size of this card. And you see that, so I have added the margin left and padding left, which was in the project CSS of the class. Now I have moved it to the top class. Okay, so we want some gap between these two, the project and blog. So I'll add a gap of 20 for now. Okay, so I think 20 is sufficient. Let's see if it is not sufficient, we can change that later. Okay, so I want this width of this class to be half. What happened? Okay, right, now this has becomes half of the top one, right? And I want to make it a grid. So till now we use flex, but this one I want to use a grid. And grid column of 2. Okay, so I removed the width of the card because I have added grid, and column of 2, it splits the grid into 2. All the containers or the cards will be split into 2. So the CSS will take care of it for us. Okay, we can still have the effect, so it doesn't change anything. So now if you look at it, it has NextJS title at the top, and it has a date, and also the title of the blog at the bottom. So at the top it's name, fine, and next should be the date. So let's add the date as August 14, 2021, and let's add the title. Build portfolio website 1. Okay, that's Okay, this one is good. Now let's change the class of these two, like let's swap them. Right, and also let's make it much brighter. Okay, the title of the card, let's make it much brighter. So text white and text opacity, let's make the opacity 90. Cool, right? Let's add more space so that the card looks rectangle, like portrait. Okay, let's add a gap of 20. Okay, so let's add one more card and see how it looks like if we add two more cards. Okay, 2, 3. So I have added 3 cards. Okay, there is a gap between, so let's make sure the gap is only of y, not x. That did not change anything. Okay, so where it went wrong? Okay, let's remove the margin. So each card we have added a margin, right? So for the project section we added a margin to right, so that is why it was showing in that way. So let's add the margin to the blog class. Okay, now it's in length. Okay, also let's add a gap of 2. Right, now it's looking much better. If we want to make it much longer we can do it, but we can leave it here. I'll add one more card now just to make it look much better. Okay, you see that everything is working as expected, right? Okay, this is done. So now once we are done with this project we'll have to make it responsive. So I'll show you to what I mean by responsive. If I make it small, you see that it's not at all looking good. Okay, so I'm thinking to work on the responsiveness now itself, or okay, let me build the third section as well, then we can work on the responsiveness. So this one is tutorials. Okay, let's add a container. Okay, let's add this section now. So these are the icons imported from not from any other country. Generally people use imported from US, Switzerland. Okay, jokes apart, it's just a bad joke. So it is imported from the HeroIcons. So if I go to HeroIcons, if I go to documentation, we have to install the HeroIcons. Okay, just need to install the icons. Let's install that. So I'll open one more terminal. Done. So in the while it installs, let's search for the play button. Okay, this is the button we are going to use. So simply we can import it by using import play icon. Okay, so all the icons here, you just need to make the first word, the word capital, the P will be capital, and you just need to add icon from. If I go back to the documentation, okay, this is how it should be, from. Done. Okay, let's close this one. Okay, let's create. Okay, let's do one thing. I think it is better I add the margin to the complete complete div instead of each and every element. So for now we'll have to remove the margins for the project section. Okay, so I added the margin right to the container of the complete right section. Okay, now it is fixed. Right, now we have to get the tutorials section. So if I add div, and let's add one more div. Okay, here we'll add the play icon. Okay, so this is how it looks like. Let's reduce the size of the icon. Let's give it 20. Oh, 20 is very small. Okay, let's see the values for width. Okay, let's give 40. I think this is fine. Let's add the other items. I'll just simply copy paste this one. No, I'll copy paste from here so that we can retain the text as well. Okay, yeah, this is the one. So let's retain, copy the card, paste it here. Okay, we just need to remove the background. Let's remove the background, gap, everything. Okay, and let's make it flex. Flex row. By default it will take flex row, but I have this habit of adding flex row as well, because in mobile design the default is flex column. If you use React Native, it's the default is flex column. In React JS it's flex row. So sometimes I get confused, so I to make sure I don't forget or miss that part, I always write flex row even though it's the default is row. Okay, now you can see it's beside each other. So let's see how it is looking here. So it has the title, description and date, and the date has letter spacing. Okay, so this one, the title is portfolio website 1. Okay, so the next one is okay, I'm just copy pasting because it saves a lot of time. Built a simple build a simple portfolio website from scratch. Okay, right, now we have to format this one. Let's swap the classes between the title and this one. Okay, the title looks fine. And build a simple portfolio website from scratch. It has a line spacing. Let's remove the line spacing and add it to this one. And the font light and everything, I am adding it to the description. Oops, my system got stuck. 1 second. Oh, yeah. Okay, it's still recording. Fine. So if I check with this one, it has a space between. Let's add the space, and also the text size also let's fix that. Let's remove this one and let's add a gap of 3. Okay, okay, right. We don't need this one. And we have to make sure it's flex column, and let's see. Okay, so let's add a padding of 10. Okay, so right, also let's make sure the items are aligned at center. Okay, now this looks good, and this one I want to make it white, and also August, it looks different compared to this one. Okay, fine. The size of it is much bigger, so let's increase the font size, and also let's add the text to white with opacity 90. I hope it's not too confusing because I'm copy pasting everything. Let's make it text of base. Okay, fine, this looks much better. So the play icon, I want to make it white. Right, now this looks much better, right? So what I want to do, I just want to copy paste and add few more items. But before that, so if I hover on item here, this one I want to scale up. Okay, so first I will add a group. So I am grouping everything. So the complete div here will be grouped. Okay, now if I hover, if I group hover, sorry, if I should add it here. If anyone anywhere on the group, if I hover, the scale of it should increase by 110. Okay, let it refresh. You can see that. So if I hover anywhere on this one, actually this is one card, it's not the card border is not visible or background is not visible, but it's like one card. If I hover anywhere, the size of the play button is increasing, right? So also let's add group hover and duration to 300. See that now it is the size of it is increasing in a smoother manner. And also let's add one more thing called ease in, one second, ease ease in and out. I think I'm having a network issue, but okay, fine. Okay, group hover is in and out. Let's see what happens. Okay, we saved the project. The ease out effect is not working for some reason. If I go back to this one, okay, I have to add transition. Again, group hover, transition. Let's see if it works. See, now it's working fine. Okay, see, it's much smoother. So if I hover this card, if I come out of it, it just going back, it's not smooth, but this one is smooth, right? So first let's add few more items here. Before that, well, let's add actually I wanted to make it hyperlinked. Okay, so if I click on play button, it should take me to YouTube video. Let's open a YouTube video. Okay, this was my first video. I'll hyperlink this one. And I forgot to like it, man, so I didn't know. Looks like my laptop is not able to take this load. Okay, anyways, let's see if it is recording. Great. Okay, so this is the hyperlink and target should be blank, which will take me to the new page. So I have saved it, so it's working fine. If I click on this one, it is opening the video. Perfect. So I'll simply copy paste for 3 more times. It will create 3 more cards for me. Something's wrong. Yeah, for copy pasting we just need to be sure we don't make any mistake. Oh, okay, this one is for this one. Okay, this table is, I missed this one. Alright, so let me copy paste again. 1 2 3. Come on, yeah, you see that? Now we have 4, and let's add space between them if they are much closer. Okay, so the main div, I'll add a class flex column gap 5. Let's see. Okay, cool, this one is done. So let's add the transaction effect for the other cards as well. So let's copy paste this part. I'll close the other tutorial. Okay, let me add for other cards. You see that? So this one is like dropping, but this one is dropping smoothly. Okay, let's add the same for the project section. We have 3 cards. Cool, right? Right, done. Okay, let's work on the hyperlink. Then after that we can work on the responsive site. So we'll add hyperlinks here, and we'll make the scroll effect when I click on the projects. So if I click on any of them, it will auto scroll. Okay, for this one we have a package called React Scroll. Okay, so this is the one. So copy this one, go back to VS Code, open new PowerShell, copy this one, paste it. Okay, once it installed, we can add the animation, the scrolling effect. So it's very simple. You just need to copy this one, paste it over there. Okay, so this will be so instead of test 1, it will be 01 project. This one will be 02 blog, and this one will be 03 tutorials. So before that, we at the top we will have to import. So import link. I just copied everything. We shall edit it here. We don't need all of them. Just link is fine. Link from React Scroll. Okay, in the left section here we'll have to add the link. Okay, yeah, copy this one, replace it with replace P with it link. Let's remove this one. Okay, let's do the same for the below. So instead of project, this is blog, and this one is tutorials. Okay, so if I go back to the project, nothing works as of now. Okay, let it refresh. Okay, still it nothing works as of now. The reason is we have to set the to the project divs. Okay, the containers, we have to add the IDs first. Okay, so the for the project, the ID, let's add it as projects. The next one would be blog, and the next one would be tutorials. Okay, let's add the same here. Instead of to, we have to make it replace it with projects, blog, and this one is tutorials. Alright, let's see. You see that? Cool, isn't it? So if I click on blog, perfect. See? Great. I want to make the opacity much brighter, this one. Let's make it 100. Okay. Okay, right. Now this is working, but I'm not getting the cursor symbol. So for that, I go back to the links. I'll add a class. The class is cursor pointer. Okay, and also I want the text to be highlighted. So what I will do, if it is hovering, I'll make sure the text opacity is maybe at 90. Okay, you see that it's looking much better now, right? Let's do the same thing for the rest of two. Just copy, paste it for them as well. You see that? If I click on blog, it comes to the blog section. If I click on tutorials, it comes to tutorial section. Same with projects. Done. The project, we have completed the website. Congratulations. Okay, actually we are not done yet, so we'll have to work on the responsiveness. So let's hide everything, let's pull it out. Okay, so if I make it smaller, till here it's working fine. Okay, there's not much of difference, it's still fine. But if I make it much smaller, you see that? So it's actually mid screen. I want to limit this one only on large screens. So if I add LG of margin 20, that will be applicable only on large screens. So the padding or the margin which you see here, it's only for the large screens. So if I make it small, okay, I want to I don't want the margin here. Okay, so by default I want the margin to be 5. Okay, so by default the margin is 5. And also let's do the same for rest of the code. Okay, you see that now this one has come to little left. If it is a larger screen, it again comes back to normal. So if it is a small screen, this is what happens. And also padding to right, let's make it again, it's only for large screen. If it is small screen, the padding, let's keep it to 20. Okay, this is much better, right? So again, if I make it bigger, it's coming back to normal. Okay, now let's fix the right hand side. Same, let's keep the right margin to 20 only if it is large screen, otherwise it's only 5. Okay, again margin to left, same thing, if it is a large screen it will be 96, same with padding, and by default the margin to left will be 20, even padding to left will be 20. So this one is overlapping. What we can do is that we can reduce the size of the cards or increase the padding size. So margin of 40, padding of 40. Okay, much better, but let's increase the padding margin to 48. Let's see. Right, much better. You see that? And the below one, it has gone to bottom of the screen, it is not visible. So what we can do, so here the gap is actually 16, so only if it is on big screen it will be 16, otherwise it will be 8. Okay, now it's much better, right? Everything works normal. Okay, so if I increase the size of it, it's coming back to normal. Okay, for the mobile screen it's not working properly, only for the mid and large screen it's working properly. Okay, so this is mid screen and this is large screen, so don't worry about the middle text, it's much closer, but that's fine. Okay, this is fine, so till here it's fine, right? But the issue is with the mobile screen. So this is the mobile screen. What we can do, so by default it's flex column, right? So let's make it flex row by default. So if it is a mid screen, let's make it column. Oh, I'm sorry, not this one, this one. Oh god, again my system got stuck, give me a moment. Right, let's see if it is recording. Great, thank god. Okay, so if it is a mid screen, flex row, otherwise by default it will be flex column. one second. So flex row, flex column. So this one should okay. Also the width of this one should be only on mid screen it should be half, otherwise the width is full. Let's see what happens. Okay, so this one is working fine, and also it will be only fixed on mid screen and above, otherwise it will be normal. Okay, now we can see this has gone on top and this one should be fixed. Only if it is mid screen we need this padding and margin, otherwise it should come back to the original one. I mean the complete, it has to take the complete width of it. Okay, so okay, we were able to pull it down. The issue is the right hand side, it's actually going out of the screen. We don't want that to happen. Let's see how to fix it. Margin of 5 is good. If we increase the margin to 10, let's see what happens. Okay, right, now it is fixed, right? You see that now everything is in aligned. So I just change the width of it to mid only. If it is mid screen, the width of it will change to full screen. So as of now by default it will be the size of this screen, so we don't need that, so I limited it to mid screen and above. Now let's add gap between these two fields. So gap of 10 by default or 20, and if it is a mid screen we don't need a gap. Okay, cool, right? It looks great. Let's see if we increase the size of it, what happens. It comes back to normal. You see that? So this is the large screen, so this is mid screen, okay, and this is the small screen which is a phone. Okay, now earlier we got the bottom scroll, right? So if I remove this one, we are getting the bottom scroll, right? So this one we don't need this one. So what I did, I added over scroll to y-axis to hidden, right? So it's a very neat and responsive website. We can get the source code from the description or from the comments below, and that's all for this video. No, actually I want to deploy this to Vercel. I'm sorry, I forgot that. There is this one, yeah. Okay, let's put it back. I'll close the actual website. Okay, done. It's cool, right? So I want to go to my GitHub. I'll add a new repository. I'll add it as portfolio website 2. Okay, I want to make it private for now. Create repository. I'll go back to this one. Let's see if it is still recording. Fine. I have to check this, guys, because not sure why. For some reason my laptop is not supporting, probably because of age. The laptop is too old, maybe because of that. So sorry for the inconvenience. Okay, it's already there, it seems. Great. Not sure when did I create it. Okay, so let's add. What is happening? Oops. Okay, sometimes I'm not sure what happens with this one. Maybe I create a lot of projects and I forgot that I have already created a repository once. I'm not sure. Okay, okay, the files are here now. Let's go to Vercel, create a new project. I'll name the project as same as the GitHub project name, portfolio website 2. Let's skip the team. Deploy. See, it's very simple to use Vercel. So it whenever you push any code to GitHub, Vercel automatically pulls the code and builds the website. Okay, let's see. I think I'll have to push the new code now. It is taking only the old one. Let's create the website first, and once it has created, we can push the code again. Okay, I'll close the other tabs. Let me close localhost as well. Almost done. Completing deployment. Great. So if I go to dashboard and click on visit, it is giving me the old app. That's fine, not an issue. Okay, so I'll go to final. So if I click on the source control, I'll have the changes listed here. So I'll add the message that it's a final website. Okay, commit, and now I have to push. Okay, so right, you see that final website building. It's very quick, and once that is done, this page should be replaced with a new one. In the meanwhile, guys, so if you like this video, please share it with your friends or family, anyone. If you find it helpful, you can subscribe to the channel, and let me know if you need any more website developments. I can develop the website for you and provide the source codes as well. So source code for this one and the previous website is in the description, and also in the comment. You can get it from there. So you see that the website is developed and ready to be hosted. Yeah, the hosting is also done. So here is our website. If I click on the contact, it will open the mailbox. I'm going to close it. You see that it's very smooth, right? If I click on the play button, it will take me to the YouTube channel, and you can see everything is perfect. And if I click on projects, it will take me to projects. Blog, it will take me to blog. Tutorials, it will take me the tutorial section. Cool, isn't it? So you can get the source code and you can modify it and play with it, and let me know what you think about this video, and give me suggestions so that I can build more websites for you. Alright, that's all for this video. We'll meet in the next video. Thank you. You take care. Bye bye.